A lot of you guys have been asking about Batch H, and for those of you guys who don't know what that is the new Weapon X project. The Hulk merged with Wolverine. How much cooler could it be? But how did we find out about this project? How did they go attack it? Well, it started in Weapon X. Old Man Logan and Sabretooth's team of Weapon X projects coming together to fight off the new Weapon X project. It's pretty epic, and I hope you guys enjoy this prelude. Logan has been called many things in his lifetime. A mutant, a freak of nature. However, the second part, they got all wrong. Him and nature. They get along just fine. As Logan enjoys the scenes of the forest, the sound of a branch snapping can be heard, and two hikers startle the nearby deer. The male hiker looks at Logan and he tells him, "We didn't think that we'd find anyone out here." And Logan just stares at them, stating, "Neither did I." The female hiker then says that they got kind of lost and they really can't get a signal, so Logan tells them to just head up the stream about 7 miles. And once they get to the bridge, go west about another 5. The couple thanks Logan. Logan smiles as he can smell the fear of them fade, and the change of that to relief. Just as Logan looks away, he hears the all too familiar schnicked, and a blade shoots out of his chest. Logan looks back and he sees that the two hikers have now peeled away their flesh and they reveal their metal interiors. The two robots start to cut away at Logan, using their long claw-like nails, ripping Logan apart. At this point, Logan knows that he can't take the two of them on. They're too strong, too fast. So his only option now is to run away. He heads up the river and he leaps off the ledge into the lake below, and he starts to think of a plan. The robots make their way down into the lake and they spot Logan's blood in the water and they attack him. And as they come out, they find only the chunk of Logan's flesh that he cut off to fool them. Over in the cave, he lets his body regenerate and he begins to think, who'd be after me? Weapon X? Weapon Plus? Reavers? Those things had adamantium blades like fingernails. There's only one person in the world who had those. Yoriko. Meanwhile, in another location, Yoriko sits at a test tube as she tries to crawl her way out. After a few failed attempts, she just looks out of the tube and begins to scratch something onto it. The scientists on the outside read the message, "Kill you all." And one says, "Well, that's cheery." Another one sets down a container labeled Logan, and he begins to pull out the chunks of Logan's flesh, stating that they won't have to put up with her for much longer. They've got 2 now and only 3 to go, and as the scientist walks off, he passes 3 more test tubes, each marked Domino, Warpath, and Sabretooth. Later that night, Logan sets out to find the only person he knows can help him. After following the scent, he finds a tree with 4 claw marks and then a torn apart bear. He smiles and says, "Gotcha." But before he can get far, Victor Creed appears, slashing away at him. Logan shouts back to Creed, telling him that he isn't here to fight, and Creed yells back, "Liar!" Logan jumps back, telling Creed to calm down. He can smell as good as him. He can tell if he's lying or telling the truth. Creed stares for a moment and he tells him, I don't know anything anymore." Logan looks at him, telling him, "They got you too, huh? Look, all I know is that there are killer cyborgs wearing human skin." Creed closes his eyes and he says, "The one that came for me was a little kid. Her face split in half and 1,000,000 claws came out." Logan begins to head up to Creed's cabin and he says, "You look like crap, by the way." And Creed shouts, "Well, yeah. Takes a while to rego half your internal organs and 100 pounds of muscle." Once inside, they decide that they need to work together. They have to get a hold of one of those cyborgs and tap into its memory banks. Creed says that they have been fighting for over 100 years. Why the hell would they team up now? And Logan laughs, telling him, "Well, I may have come here and passed every security camera along the way. So just give it a few minutes." Before Creed can ask what he's talking about, the cabin explodes and a cyborg appears shouting, "Die, mutants!" Creed looks at the cyborg and says, "You son of a..." And Logan asks, "How about a team up now?" Meanwhile, over in Arizona, James Proudstar, the man known as Warpath, notices a helicopter bothering some of the nearby Mustangs. As they run off, he looks up at the helicopter and he sighs and he begins to chase after. He leaps up and he flies through the air with his knives and cuts the propellers. As the helicopter comes crashing down, he notices that the pilot is a dummy. All of the Mustangs turn back and they begin to neigh at James, and then they transform into mechanical horses with claws. One stabs into him, but he tries to fight back, but the number of horses is too much, and they begin to overpower him. Back over in Washington State, Logan and Creed fight off the group of cyborgs that are after them. Logan shouts that they nearly killed them when they were separate, so they're just gonna have to fight together. One of the cyborgs cuts into Logan's stomach, and Creed laughs, telling him, "Haha, looks like you're getting slow." And then the cyborg punches him. Creed starts to get back up, but telling him, "This is stupid, I'm getting out of here." Logan then watches as Creed runs and he says, "Aw, crap," and he follows close behind. Once he catches up, he says, "You know, they do have tracking skills, but they don't have our experience. So I'm a bit curious as to how they would follow us if we went into a box canyon." A short while later, along the ridge, one of the cyborgs begins to sniff, but when it gets Logan's scent, he leaps out, cutting off its head. Creed grabs it, and before Logan can tell him not to, the head self-destructs. Logan shouts, "We needed it alive!" And Creed tells him, "Shut up, there's more coming." Back a ways, two of the cyborgs locate the scent, but they notice it everywhere. One says, "It's a trap," and they begin to take out clothing and change back into their human forms. Over in the bushes, Creed and Logan watch, and Logan mentions that he caught a whiff of the new skin, and it's their scent. They stole their blood, and he kind of takes that personally. Creed looks at Logan and he tells him, "I really hate you right now, but you're lucky I hate those cyborgs more." Meanwhile, back at the unclassified location, the scientists get to work on their experiments on Warpath. The next morning, Logan and Creed sit in a diner watching the cyborgs as they try to locate them. But then they see them renting a car. Creed points out, stating that they're driving, not flying, which means they have no fancy sci-fi jets. The two exit the diner, and Logan begins to tell Creed what they should do when Creed starts to walk off. Logan asks what's he doing, and Creed points over to the gun store, telling him that he's gonna do some shopping. Inside, the cashier says that they have bigger guns, but there's normally a lot of paperwork that comes with that. And Creed holds out a fistful of cash, telling him, "I got all the paperwork you need right here." As the two cyborgs leave, Logan and Creed wait until dark and they sneak into the car rental place. Logan says that these places have GPS in their cars, so now they just have to follow where this went. And later, over in California, Nina Thurman, the mutant Domino, rides a boat feeling the water. And she quietly asks, "Now? No, now? No, now!" Domino then jumps into the water and swims down to a clam and tries to open it up, revealing a coin. After swimming back up with the clams, she tosses them onto the boat, and the two men call out to her, and they say that they're a little lost. Domino points off into the distance, telling them that they could just follow the shore to get back to the docks, and one of the men says, "Thanks. But while we're close, a claw springs out into Domino's boat, and another cyborg shouts, 'How about you die now?' As the cyborgs begin to climb onto Domino's boat, she grabs her guns from underneath the floorboard and jumps to the other boat, firing. As the bullets begin to bounce off, the cyborgs open up their hatches and they point several guns back at her. They jump back onto their boat and she leaps onto hers, kicking open another floorboard filled with grenades. After tossing all of those grenades, Domino jumps into the water as the explosions go off. And while underwater, she watches as the cyborgs fall in and they claw their ways back up. Domino shouts, "Really? We're running out of boats here." And then another explosion goes off. Speeding up from behind, Creed laughs, holding out a smoking RPG, and Domino shouts, "Logan!" Another explosion goes off, sinking the boat that the cyborgs are on, and Logan starts to help Domino up onto theirs. As she begins to dust herself off, Creed says that she's a hot one, and then Domino pulls a gun on him, telling him, "Yeah, super hot right now." Logan tells her it's alright, we're working together. There's a bunch of cyborgs hunting mutants, so you in? And Domino says that she was working some carefree mercenary work, and they just lost her $250,000 in gold doubloons. So heck yeah, she's in. Meanwhile, at a classified location in Washington, D.C., a man looks at the reports and says, "The cyborgs can't swim?" And the doctor says, "Given the amount of adamantium, they are extremely heavy, so right now, we need something incredible. We're gonna need to merge them with the Hulk." However, not only did the scientists think that they should get a hold of the Hulk, known as Amadeus Cho right now, but so did Logan, Creed, and Domino. Amadeus explains that right now they are off the Gulf of Mexico, and there's a group of researchers using an oil rig as a research facility for Weapon X. There has been a small group of scientists who are regularly seen there, and that's who they're going to try and capture. Once the plan is set, Amadeus leads the charge towards the facility by dropping out of the Olympus Group airship down onto the oil rig. He smashes into the rig, and the others provide support fire while the rest of them can land. After destroying the top forces, Creed says, "That was a little too easy." Amadeus tells him that those cyborgs are probably an early batch. The real threat is deep inside. However, before Amadeus can get in, the rest of the cyborgs make their way out and they all begin to attack. Logan gets stabbed and Creed shouts, "What the hell is this?" And he jumps on top of Amadeus, telling him, "Look me in the eye." And when he does, Creed fires an assault rifle into his face, telling him, "Get mad already!" Amadeus rips through the horde of cyborgs, screaming, "You shot me!" And Creed laughs, telling him, "That got him going, huh?" Amadeus then pulls apart the floor for everyone to make their way inside, and as they get into the lab, they see the test tubes. Domino sees the Eureka's tube and says, "Please don't make her regret this," and shoots the glass, freeing her. Logan then gets Warpath out of his tube, and then he runs straight into a group of cyborgs, tearing them all apart. Domino helps Eureka, and she extends her nails, and Domino shouts, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! We're here to save you, and are you okay?" Eureka tells her, "No." But she knows things that'll make this better. She then sees the group of scientists, and they run back and close the reinforced door, locking her out. Creed hands Eureka his jacket and says, "I'll give you a hand." And he rips the door off. One of the scientists shouts that the lab has been compromised, and Noriko jumps stabbing into his chest. Another scientist begs, please, don't kill me. And Noriko says, I don't remember you crying when you were cutting into my flesh. The scientists tell her that she heals in seconds. They could never. But Noriko grabs her, shouting, I could still feel it. She pulls back her hand, and Amadeus grabs her, telling her, you're not gonna kill anyone. We're supposed to be the good guys. Amadeus then looks at one of the scientists and says, I know how we can make things right. Tell me who your boss is. Meanwhile, at that classified location that we've mentioned multiple times in this storyline, the shadowy figure says enough with this, and seconds later the rig explodes. The blast incinerates all of the scientists, and Logan says, every time we get close, something always blows up. Amadeus tells them they just murdered their own people, but we can't be stopped now. This place was a facility for extracting DNA where the cyborgs are being made somewhere else. And Logan says, well, I got one question. Who still wants a piece of those? Back over at the classified location, the doctor explains that they did succeed in getting the Hulk sample. Well done, Reverend Stryker. And Stryker tells Carla, don't give me credit. This was God's will. And there you have it. The Weapon X team has come together to battle against the ultimate Weapon X project. The Hulk merged with the Wolverine. What's going to happen next? Well, subscribe because we're going to be bringing you that video very soon. Why wouldn't we? It's so epic. Don't forget to check on more Hulk videos over here, Wolverine videos over here, and subscribe to find out what's going to happen to Batch H.